Hi guys, this is Tie-Dye for the 86th time. I want to preface before the video that you should watch every video by us because we're amazing. No, I'm kidding. Because they have different knowledge spread throughout them, and you can learn a lot more by watching all of them, and you can have a better understanding of all three roles by watching all three. This is the tank video, as you know. So yeah, if you're a tank watching this as your first one, I would watch the DPS and healer as follow-up.
Yes.
And yeah, that's all. Off to you, Eden.
Alright, hey guys, I'm Eden. I'm the one of the coaches for the academy team. And like Ty already said, we're gonna be talking about tanks in this video. So first I want to start off with what is a tank? A tank is a character with a larger health pool and some sort of damage mitigation. There are two exceptions, and those are Ball and Hog, but they still provide a larger health pool and a larger hitbox. So, you know, tanks... Yes, oh, you can go.
And with Ball, he has his ability, Adaptive Shields, that gives him like up to 600 extra shield, so he has the largest health pool out of the tanks if used in if used in like a 6-person, like if you drop into a 6-person stack, you're getting 600 more health.
Yes, so that's what a tank is a character with a larger health pool, bigger hitbox. They usually have some form of armor or shield, and they take most of the incoming damage from the enemy team.
And when he says armor or shield there, he also means shield health, like Zarya here. Like, she has the blue health, which regens which regens.
Yes. And, now, why is it important to have a tank? Because oh, shit.
Go.
Because they provide protection to the rest of the team from incoming damage sources, like I said. They also allow your team to position properly to get value as their character. And what we mean by position properly is what we'll talk about next, which is space. A tank's job usually is to take space from the enemy and to hold that space. I lost my train of thought. And what I mean by position properly is so like you take space from the enemy, and that allows your team to get to certain places in the map that they wouldn't be able to if you didn't have that space.
So like, say you took this corner right here. Like,
Yes.
Eden's Reinhardt, he starts guarding this corner instead of sitting in the choke.
Instead of just standing in the choke.
You now have access to the high ground here. You can go up this way. You can go from behind. You have so many more options. And if he pushes a little further, you can take in here and flank around.
It just gives you more options as your team.
Because if you're in the choke, you basically have that high ground for like characters like Widow or Ashe, maybe
Hanzo. Useless.
And you're kind of just sitting here taking damage. And you don't want to do that. You want to push into the enemy and do as much as you can for your team to further the likelihood that you get one elim, because in Overwatch, 6v6 and a 5v6 are very different.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, do you want to talk about space?
Yeah. So space is more or less the map, the part of the map that you control. So, like I said, if Eden's holding this corner right here, we control from here, from right behind him, all the way to spawn.
Yes.
That's our area, and like if the enemy comes in, we need to take them out so we can maintain this space.
But it's better to take space from the enemy, because then it would lower their space, and it would give you more space, so you could have more space to do stuff.
It allows you to collapse upon the enemy, trying to increase your likelihood that you eventually get one elimination. Maybe on a healer or like an important player in the game, so that you can just snowball that. So you get one, and then you get another, and then you get another, and then you get another.
Yes.
Eventually leading to, of course, your victory in that one fight.
Yes. So that's what space is. Space is the area of the map that you control, and taking it is very valuable for your team as a tank, which you should always be looking to do. I think I'll go into main tank, and you can do off tank.
Okay, so let's go back to spawn for that.
Yep. All right. So I want to start
So,
off with
now-
main tank. Oh, yeah. I want to start off with
I was
main
gonna-
tanks. Are you starting with main tanks? Or are you starting with offense?
No. I was gonna say. So now we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. The difference between the two tank types.
Yes.
There are 4 of each, by the way.
4 of each. Oh yeah, 4 of each tank type. I thought you were like there are 4 different sets, but anyways. So
No.
first, I want to start off with main tanks. Usually the characters that are played as main tanks are Rein, Orisa, Ball, and Winston. In most cases, main tanks are main tanks because they have a shield, like Reinhardt and Orisa, and they're able to make space with certain abilities to move enemies into a worse position. So, say for instance, Orisa, or Tie-Dye over there, has an ability called Halt, where he pulls the enemy, and anyone in that radius gets pulled together, which can bring them out of position and give you a chance to pick them off. So that's like an example of one of the
Also-
abilities.
Now that I think about it with Orisa, isn't Fortify also a good method of taking space? Because
Yes.
you're so tanky and you can just push forward and take what you want.
And like Ryan, you can just charge and take space, but you shouldn't always be charging because then you could give up space if you get taken out.
Yeah,
main
because
tank.
if I'm an enemy Ryan and I see Eden charge into a very, very easy spot for my team and me to collapse spawn, I'm gonna take advantage and they will probably lose that team fight.
Yes.
Another main tank is Ball, and his like method of helping his team is he'll come in with grapple and like mess up the enemies, and it also makes it easier for like some DPS to hit people because while they're in the air from pile driver, you can get a pretty good shot off, and you can also kill pretty quickly with Ball if you know what you're doing.
Also, main tanks usually have armor instead of shields because they take most of the incoming damage from the enemy. So it just gives them that kind of extra cushion they need to survive more.
And real quick, just a quick thing on Monkey. Monkey's like what he does is he'll dive into a team and he'll like poke at people. He can probably get a pick if his team's diving with him. And his ult also, Primal Rage, is very good for like messing up enemy like positioning and stuff and controlling space. Shut up, Discord.
Wow.
Okay, so next is off tank. Off tanks tend to be characters that support the main tanks, and most of them, except Sigma, don't have a shield. And they also have shield health more usually, except for D.Va over here with her fancy schmancy armor.
Yes.
So characters that are off tank usually have utility that helps the main tank or the rest of the team. So like Zarya here has her bubbles. They mitigate. How much damage is it exactly? I don't remember.
40.
Like-
I think, right?
40?
Is
Is it
it?
40?
No.
No, I think it's like 100 or something.
I think it's 80.
It's a good amount. It might
Yeah,
be. It's
it's
a
a
good
decent
amount. It protects the team from a good amount of damage, and it also buffs her up so she can help do more. With D.Va over here, if you want to get into that.
D.Va has an ability called Defense Matrix, which is the button I just pressed, and it eats all incoming projectiles from the enemy team, which is one of the best damage mitigation tools in the entire game.
Also, Sigma here has a similar ability called Kinetic Grasp. It is not as good as D.Va's Defense Matrix, not meaning it's bad or Sigma's inferior to D.Va necessarily. It's just, it's only for him more or less, and it doesn't really help the team. You have to be like in their face eating it. And D.Va and Sigma can eat certain ultimates as well, if
Yep.
you time it perfectly. Sigma also has his rock, or accretion, I'm not gonna call it rock, to stun and like make it easier to target the enemy, and he also has a shield.
Yeah, off tanks they provide just to go over, off tanks provide utility to the main tank and their team and have some sort of damage mitigation ability to absorb damage. They also hold the space taken from the main tank. So like how I say that is, say, how we were talking about pushing up and taking space as like a main tank, how we would have this high ground on Hollywood, at least have this high ground. Your D.Va could sit up here and make sure that the enemies don't take back this space on their DPS heroes or even their tanks. Just by standing up here.
Hog also is really good at helping take space because you can say they have a Ryan right here. I'm looking at him and he drops a shield for a fire strike. I hook him, and then it's very easy to eliminate him and collapse onto the team because you just ruined most of their ability to take space.
Yeah, you took all of their space just by killing their main tank. And
also,
is that it?
I'm gonna preface one thing, or not preface, but say one thing. With off tanks, we did say there are most of the situations present certain characters as off tank. However, there is one, I believe only one, situation where Reinhardt is considered an off tank, and that is when he's played with Orisa and Double Shield.
Yes. So just to sum it all up, a tank is important because they provide protection to the rest of the team from incoming damage sources, and they take space. And what is space? Space is an area of the map that you control. The more space you have, the more your teammates can do, and the higher chance of you winning will be. And space is important because it allows your team to function. The subcategories, there's main tank and there's off tank. In the main tank category, we have Rein, Orisa, Ball, and Winston. Usually they're main tanks because they have a shield and are able to make space with certain abilities that move enemies. And then we have off tanks, which are Zarya, Hog, Sigma, and D.Va, and they provide utility to the main tank. They have some sort of damage mitigation, and they can hold the space taken by the main tank. And that's all we have for tanks, I think, for now.
Yeah, we will say something, or probably put another video out if we forgot something.
Yes.
It's happened before.
Yep. But I appreciate you guys listening to this video, and keep playing Overwatch.
The other videos are also probably on the same channel as this one, so please watch those.
Exactly. Yep. Alright,
Again.
see ya.